Good morning. I'm Anna Marie De La Vega, and this is Focus. Today, we have someone who's been with us before because she is so amazing. We could not let her go. It's Paris Jackson. She's a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. Today, she's all ours.
Yay.
How are you? How has your day been?
I am so good, Anna. My day has been wonderful. I met with 3 amazing people today who we helped start their financial journey, and so I am super excited.
That makes you just literally so happy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. So we have people now who've started their financial journey, and let's go into, we're going to talk about the current economic environment because some people's journey feels very shaky and on rough road right now. Prices are higher, investments are shaky, and then we're going to talk about maybe how we can get a plan together no matter where we are at the end of the show, okay?
Awesome. Okay.
So in the current economic environment, what is going on?
So right now, prices in different areas of the market have increased, which in turn has caused some panic within the investment space. And so some people have seen a dip in their 401k or any of their investment accounts, which naturally, if we're emotional creatures, so that may cause us or tempt us to want to take some of that money out. And so understanding what to do within this process to still make your money work for you in the long run is critically important.
Okay, so we've got a 401k. We've got investments there in the markets, and we look, and our bottom line of how much we have from last month to this month has dropped thousands of dollars.
Possibly.
What do? We pull it out and put it under the mattress?
We do not. We do not. We align our purpose and reorient ourselves back to understanding what the long-term goal is. And so the market has done this before, and it will course correct itself. And so we just want people to take the emotions out of it and understand that their future is more important than the temporary feelings that we have right now. And so putting an eye on your 401k with a financial advisor can kind of help ease some of that, understanding what's happening, how your money is diversified, and so that you know, when it does rebound, that you're good to go and you're back on track.
Because people who have been dealing with a lot of money for a lot of years know that when the value goes down, that's when they buy it.
Yeah.
That's not when they sell it.
That is not when you sell.
Well, we poor people, we go like, oh, no, I'm about to lose all my money. And I take it out then, and I lost the future profits that I would make.
You lost the future opportunity, and you also lose the power of time. The ability to rebuild what you took out, especially if you take it out and spend it. So if you've been, growing that money for 20 years, I take it out because of a temporary correction, it's going to take me twice as long. And so understanding the roadway or the strip that we have, our airline capacity to travel towards the path of retirement, how much time do we have left on that path? And we've shortened it by taking that money out. And so we're going to have to do more in order to recover versus just letting it sit there and letting the market do what it does.
And bounce back. You just kind of triggered something in me because I was listening to a guy just recently, and he said he got his finances in order, and he said he was looking for freedom, not money, but freedom, which money can buy your freedom.
Right.
And he said, so what his path is to be very frugal, to get some side gigs, not necessarily like, delivering food or whatever, because you have to give your time and your person right there to do that. But look for things that you like to do, that you can do well, that you can help others, but then there's a growth possibility in it, because that's how he ended up getting into his services that he's doing now. But he says, try and make some more money and try and be super, super frugal. Are there ways that a lot of us really could be more frugal for a short period of time, for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then really be able to have a bigger payoff at the end?
Oh, absolutely. Your gift will make room for you. I am a firm believer that the things that we've been gifted with are to be of service to other people. And so why wouldn't I pay you to do something that's going to benefit me? And so if we can use the things that are already naturally in us, it's a great way to produce more income. And a lot of my clients use that income specifically to save, right, and to prepare for retirement, while what they do, between a 9 to 5 or from a business perspective, pays bills and, gets the kids into college and things like that. But it's so important for them to say that they say, hey, let me use this. We coined the term side hustle, but let me use this for my opportunities because I do understand how important it is.
What did you say? Your gift
will make room for you.
Your gift will make room for you. Yeah. You just changed my whole trajectory to today just with that. Your gift will make room for you, because I think people have things that they really love to do and they really do well, but they're afraid to focus on it because they're not making any money. Like, I might do this for free because all my friends need it, and I do this and I counsel them or I do whatever for free. But if I start doing it more because I love it and I can help with it, then that helps me down the line. It's hard to believe, it's hard to have faith, but if you really do what your gift is, your gift will make room for you.
Yeah, if you notice that people are always asking you for advice in certain areas, or you're naturally creative and you're like, hey, I would put this outfit together. There are so many people looking for services and so many free ways to advertise your services, just to, repurpose and invest in yourself outside of what we call like normal working hours.
Right.
That can do wonders. And so you asked me earlier about finding ways within the budget to kind of, think about different things and being frugal. One of the most common ways is often if you look at your subscriptions, like, hey, do we need, Netflix and Hulu and all these things at the same time? Just coming down to maybe one TV show or streaming service per month.
Yeah.
And then with the rest of my time, let's work on the gift. And so I'm saving money from a budgetary perspective, but I'm also bringing in money because I'm doing something else with my time rather than, utilizing streaming services. Another area is definitely going to be looking at the food budget. And so this was an area that was really heavy for me, Anna, because I love cooking, right? But there's still ways to ensure that the budget respects you. And so
wait, the budget respects me.
The budget has to respect you. You have to tell it what to do. Because if not, the reason that we run ragged is because we haven't given our money an assignment. And so if I know that my budget is $1,000 a month for food, naturally that means if it's a 4-week month, I can only spend $200. So going onto an app, not to have the food delivered, but to just itemize and make sure I stay within that $200 budget, and then going back through and saying, hey, what needs to come off? Do I actually need this to get through the week?
Yes.
Did I waste these cucumbers last time, or did I use it? And so just doing things like that, and you'll be surprised how much it shaves and provides other opportunities for you to use that money for something else.
You are the boss of your budget.
Yeah.
Most of us let our budget boss us.
Yeah.
Here's what you can do. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But with the food, I love to cook as well. And I notice I'll get into a recipe. It's like, oh, that looks delicious. I don't have a garam masala. I need to go get some of that. Well, do I need to? Must I make that meal right now when the budget is like, I'm almost out of budget money for food that week? Do I need to? I need to drive the budget. It works for me.
Yeah.
That is something we just all need to remember.
Yeah.
Because I don't. I'm like, my budget says no. No. I'm the boss.
Yeah. Sometimes it's I believe in balance and rewarding yourself, right? And so if you love to cook and that's what provides you, the good feeling and the therapy, make room for that in your budget as well, but just don't do it all the time, right? And so if I do well and all my bills are paid at the end of the month, then yeah, let's cook with all the ingredients and reward yourself with that meal, because of course it's still healthier than eating out.
Yeah.
You're still going to pay less than you would if you went to a restaurant and bought a $75 meal. And so I think there's room for balance. Again, as long as we can, pin it down from a budgetary perspective, be able to visually see where our money is going, we get to make better decisions.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm jumping ahead too much, but if I wanted to go ahead and splurge, somebody's birthday's coming up and I want to cook this special thing for them, and I'm going to need more money than what I have assigned to my budget to do for me, then you say there's something else we need to just remember to do.
Yeah. So just think about the opportunity to share the load. I was that person that used to say, hey, let's do an event at the house, and I would buy all of the food. Yes. And so why not, for the people who are attending, hey, can you bring this dish? Or, hey, can you bring that dish? And you still, that's still gifting, right? Because people respect time oftentimes more than things. And so we don't have to worry necessarily about buying gifts all the time. It's just the camaraderie of having people together. People respect that. Like, this is what I know I would, right? This is what you did for me. You took the time. Everybody carved out an hour of their day to cook for me. I know how expensive food is, so I definitely would appreciate that. So just understanding like different ways to do different things and still get to enjoy your time with the people you love.
And maybe also consider the money that you have budgeted somewhere else.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
If I'm going to have this big expense here and I'm determined to, and this is what I choose to do, maybe I don't spend so much on my morning coffees, or maybe I don't spend so much on
dining out.
Right.
Maybe we don't go to the movies this weekend because we want to, bless our friend or do something for our child. There's always what we call discretionary money. And so that's the money that is in our budget, but doesn't necessarily have to be spent. Some people have, they allocate $200 a month for buying clothes. Maybe there's 3 kids in the house, or I have a job where I need to be, in office attire all the time. Maybe I say, okay, well, I'll recycle all the clothes that I already have and then use that $200 for this particular thing for the month so that I don't break the budget.
Okay. And then the subscriptions part, I love where I'm backtracking here a little bit now. I'm jumping all over because you just get me so excited and so enthused and feeling so hopeful and positive about the future. The subscriptions, because part of what you're doing is when you save money on having so many subscriptions, and then maybe you watch it once every 2 weeks or once a week. Maybe you don't even watch it very much. But also, if you have all of those subscriptions, you tend to spend a lot of your time. I'm investing my time into just kind of escaping this world. I'm not in when I'm into just people. Binge watching has become a thing,
right?
And that's fine. But if I'm binge watching 4 hours a day, that's 4 hours a day. I am not investing into my life, into my real world. Yeah, I'm watching people succeed, watching people find love and romance, but I'm not making myself that time to spend on me, on my finances, on my family, to help me succeed.
Yeah, you're funding somebody else's gift.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah. I just helped that actor get more money.
Yeah. Oh. Your views, your streams, your time is going towards somebody else's gift. We all have them. And so it's just, identifying what it takes. And any business owner that you look at, Anna, they invest hours upon hours per week into themselves by investing in the business. And so, again, if you have something, you could take that time that you're spending, because we're all paying for internet, right? Do some research, whether it's something on a financial topic or, hey, how can I, make my budget easier? There's so many ways to spend time on the internet researching and educating ourselves versus, spending that time watching or binge watching the show. Yeah. And I think there's a healthy component to that, right? Sometimes we just need our brain to relax, but it definitely shouldn't be, this is what I do every weekend, right? Because
or every day.
Or every day, because we're losing the opportunity to increase our value.
And to make our lives better.
And to make our lives better, yeah.
Where would someone start to put together a budget? And we're going to get more into, like, now I've got some investments and now I'm, paying higher prices for things. But what is the starting place? And one moment, if you're just joining us, I want you to know who this brilliant woman is. It's Paris Jackson. She's a financial advisor. She's with Northwestern Mutual, and she's also with us and has agreed to kind of keep coming back to us to help educate us and help us get on a better path in our lives. So to start your budget, so you know what I have for food and what I have for here, what would I do?
So before you put pen to paper or, typing on the computer, I say we have to start with mindset. Before you even think about facing this, you have to already know in your mind that this is something that is going to change, not maybe depending on the numbers or, how things shake out that I'll then make a decision. Before we do anything, make the decision that things need to change, and then go into the budget. And so there's so many resources available online where you can just type in what you're spending your money on. They have categories within the budget document. You can change the names to make sure you get very specific on where the money is going. So I can separate, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus versus just saying subscriptions, like really break it out
Right.
so I can find ways to repurpose the money and move. A lot of people are more successful if they utilize something that tabulates the budget for them. And then you can rinse and repeat and do this on a monthly basis. Even as a financial advisor, at the beginning of every month, I sit down in front of my computer and I pay my bills according to my budget. I do not get to spend until everything has been paid. And so the mindset of freedom means differently to everybody. But, you know, if I know everything has been taken care of, then if I want to bless my friend or have this birthday party, I know the money that is sitting in that account after savings and after bill pay is money that I can actually use.
Is there an amount, and I know when I hear these, sometimes I'm like, I don't think I could do that. But that you tell people who are even just starting out, certain amount, certain percentage to do certain things with?
It depends. I'm
because a lot of us are starting out cold.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
I'm very unscripted with respect to financial planning. I want to ensure that whatever we're doing is specific to the client so that it's something that they can maintain. Whatever the recommendations are have to be sustainable. And so mindset, of course, plays a lot within it. How much budget you have available plays in that factor. And then even more so, what do you have upcoming? Because what I can save, you know, in the month of May may not be what I can save for June because now the kids are out of school. And so understanding the flexibility of the budget, but just starting with, all right, how do I save? A lot of people don't because they don't have anywhere to put it. Where the money is sitting is, you know, commingled with my bill paying money. And so if it's there, it's, you know, I can spend it. And so understanding, hey, what type of account do I open in this current market that allows me to separate my money, but still have full access to it? So do I do a high yield savings? Do I do a money market account? What is appropriate for me and my family? And then how does my budget shift? Because if I'm on salary, it may be a little bit easier for me to do the monthly $50 a month. But if I'm a commission-based person, I may have to save as the money comes in because some months the bills are a little bit higher than the others. And so I think it's highly dependent on that individual and what their life looks like. But just making a decision to start and then doing some research on your own or identifying I am the type of person that needs to connect with somebody so that I can get this stuff started.
And we know where to send them.
Yeah.
to Miss Paris.
Yeah.
So prices and a lot of things are higher. The economic environment has got us very, very shaky.
Yeah.
We're going to, if we have investments, if we have things where suddenly it dropped, don't panic. And
right.
You said earlier, take the emotion out of the situation rather than, oh no, I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Take the emotion out. How do you do that?
By facing it. And so I think understanding, you know, the education behind what I am invested in provides a lot of relief. Diversification has so much power. You know, not having all of your eggs in one basket because, you know, example, if I have all of my money in one stock and that individual stock is affected by, you know, tariffs or whatever, I'm going to have a lot more heartache than if I'm, you know, spread across all different sectors and I'm just dealing with a temporary drop until the market rebounds. I truly believe that facing it and getting the education behind how the stock market works. And there's a lot of things you can definitely research, but just that gives peace of mind and reduces anxiety. I meet with a lot of clients who have 401ks with their employer, but have never actually seen where the money is invested. They don't know, you know, if I'm 80% stocks or 20% bonds. And what is that? Like, what is a stock? What is a bond?
Right.
So,
what does that mean even?
Like, what does it mean? And so there's definitely power in education. There's power in visibility. But not to the point where we allow it to induce fear. So have enough visibility for awareness purposes, but have enough education to keep the emotions at bay.
Okay, yes, because I know when I get the paperwork in the mail, I'm like, I don't even know. That's like it's in another language.
Yeah.
And so educate yourself enough to know where your money's going.
Yeah.
And enough to know that if this happens, this will go down, but not everything will go down. That kind of thing. So at least get yourself some education and get someone, if you can, who can help work that with you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because even if the market is great, right, that's still something you should know. Like, what is my money invested in? And more importantly, what I'm invested in and how much I'm contributing, does that lean to where I need to be in retirement? And so if I want to retire at age 65 and live off of $5,000 a month, and I'm contributing $100 a month to my 401k, is that enough? Right? Because
and I see that smile meaning like probably no.
Yeah, the years of relying on a pension are so far removed from current society that you definitely have to be strategic on how much money you're putting away, what the match percentage is from your employer. Do you do Roth? Do you do traditional? So many questions. That is just an amazing feature to be in partnership with somebody who can help you understand the decisions that you're making.
I'm making notes right now because these are things that we will be asking Paris to explain a little more about later on, like stocks, bonds, T-bills, all the different things, the Roth IRAs, the traditional, conventional, what is it called?
Traditional.
Mm-hmm. Now, so individuals dealing with higher prices, is there some way we can see what's ahead with higher prices that are in our lives that we can understand a little bit better? Like people talk about, well, maybe things I get through Amazon or things I get like eggs soared, but that was from the chicken bird flu, avian flu and stuff like that. But is there somewhere we can go like, okay, let me kind of plan ahead and maybe plan to buy less of this and more from here, that sort of thing?
Oh, man. So, I have worked with so many clients over the past few months, and you would be so surprised at the power of AI. You can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, how do I cook this meal and what store do I buy it from and here's my budget. And so if I have a $50 budget for shopping for the week, ChatGPT will tell me what store to go to, what the price is currently at that store for eggs and all the other ingredients. And so we can use AI to make our lives easier and to stay within budget. It is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And so just taking some time, spending time. There's so many features, even through the internet, where you can, compare the prices of a whole lot of things. Just a little bit more time than we're used to. I do things like that while I'm sitting in bed at night after, I read my Bible and I'm getting ready to go to bed and I'm preparing my grocery list because that's the only time that I have versus, going to the store. I prepare my order for pickup and I'm looking through ChatGPT to say, hey, what store has the best prices on eggs right now? And it will show me.
And is it worth it driving around to all the different places or?
We don't have to drive around because it shows you with the response, it shows you exactly who has it for what price. And then you can go into that store's app to validate and make the purchase.
What about deliveries? Do you get grocery deliveries? Is that some place where we need to save money?
That's definitely a place where we can save money. And so I have so much respect for the delivery service because I understand there's a lot of moms, dads out there who it's just simply easier if I have 3 young kids in the house and I know I need to cook and I don't want to do fast food and I'd rather pay for whatever this delivery service, especially if it's once a week. Sometimes it is beneficial. But if we're looking for ways to cut costs and we have the physical time to go to the store, you can do the same thing through the app. You just pick it up on your way home from work because you can schedule a pickup time. So a lot of ways to do it.
Okay, that's good. That's good to plan ahead like that. If you're just joining us, this is Paris Jackson. She's a financial advisor, and she's with Northwestern Mutual. Today, she's with us, and we're talking about one of the things we've been talking about is budgeting and deciding what to do with our money and making a plan. And there's some things that we need to make sure and plan for, including emergencies and maybe debts.
Yeah.
Getting out of debt. Tell us what we need to be thinking about there and what you tell your clients, please.
So I've been working with a lot of clients lately, and the prices have increased on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so the words that have been used is, hey, I'm traumatized or I'm scared. So there's a mixture of fear and anxiety that comes along with the current market. And so it's one thing to, we talked about, hey, getting a side hustle or using your gift and bringing more income in. And so I think that there's a dual purpose for that money when you do find it. One of those things is to build or increase your emergency fund. But the other thing is to get rid of high interest debt. That money that we're putting towards consumer loans or credit cards are eating away at the budget.
Yeah.
And so it has a little bit more power if you think about the interest rate perspective. If I have a credit card that's 29%, but I'm saving, maybe in a high yield savings where I'm getting 3.5, which one has more power against my budget? And so we definitely have to be balanced with where we kind of purpose that money in order for it to be effective for us in the long run.
Whoa. Meaning you want to find a way to pay off that debt.
You want to find a way to pay off that debt, and you want to pay it off efficiently. And so whether you're talking about the snowball method or the avalanche method of debt, I think there's a tie to emotions, because some people are tied to interest rates, right? If I want the interest rate to not smother my budget, then I'm going to pay off the higher interest rate first. But some people, they get motivation based off of balances. So if I can start paying the smaller things off, then it helps me go towards the other things.
Yeah.
And all of that leads back to plans, Anna. Like if we can visually see what the plan is, I love working with clients, and we have what's called a debt-free date. Like we can visibly see based off of all the debt that they have and the plan that we've built, this is when, if I stick with this, I'm going to be debt-free. And it's amazing.
What would you say about the companies that help you get debt-free? Like if you've just gotten in over your head and they basically freeze your credit card. I dealt with one years ago and it was a godsend. So they would, because I thought, I'm going to try and talk to this creditor myself. I'm like, I'm paying interest and I've never been late. All of this stuff is, is paid, but I'm just paying the interest on these things now. And so I said, can I just stop it and freeze it? And can I just keep making payments? And they said, no, we can't do that. And then they recommended some company, and they talked with my creditors and they froze the accounts. Don't use those, credit cards anymore. And most of them lowered the interest rates. Like you're going to pay this one off at 4%, or you're going to pay half of this one off at 0%, or things because I don't know what kind of deal they do, but it helped me get out of debt. What do you think about that? Do you feel like that's a valid if somebody's just drowning?
I think there are certain points where that is appropriate. And so again, it would definitely be dependent on somebody's individual situation. I've seen some scenarios where there's more month than money, right? More bills are available to be paid. And so even if you do have excess, it's not putting a dent in the amount of the credit card balance because the interest is so high.
Yeah.
And so in that case, if you can't negotiate, I can definitely understand moving to that route. But sometimes it is simply just repurposing, right? The power of taking an extra $50 a month and putting it on top of a credit card can shave years. And I mean years off of the amount of time that you have left to pay it. And so I personally love the snowball method because we get to see, how it works. So if I have 5 credit cards and I'm making, $25 a month payment on each one of them, instead of when the first credit card gets paid off, instead of putting that 25 back into my budget, I tack it onto the second one. We've developed plans where people have started with 84 months of debt free, and we've shaved it down to 18 months by adding an extra $250.
Wow.
It's like the power of just a little more, just starting and doing something is so, so amazing with respect to finances.
Start and do something.
Do something.
We're going to pick up there on the next time we get together. Is that okay?
That is okay. Yeah.
The amazing Paris Jackson, financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual, who's here to help us, and we'll have her back again. We're going to also post some links on our Focus Facebook page. Please make sure you join us again next week. I'm Anna Marie. That's Focus.